Hello everyone, it's your host, your friend, your boy, Jetblack One and Only, here with another exciting video. And in this video, I'm going to talk about why we probably won't see an Atlantis live-action movie come out from Disney in the near future. So, I have been looking at Disney's announcement schedule for live-action films, and have been really surprised that these live-action adaptations of old animated classics are a lot of films that don't include a lot of human characters. Stuff like Dumbo and Lion King are getting live-action adaptations, even though those films, especially Lion King, um, are mainly made up of cast of all animals. So to make it live action would essentially just be to make a CGI, just prettier looking version of it, without it actually being, live action. It's just like a 3D cartoon rather than a 2D cartoon. It's a computer generated cartoon rather than like a hand drawn cartoon. But with movies being announced like Mulan, which do have a lot of like human characters being made in a live action, it makes me think to myself, what would be the best Disney cartoon, in my opinion, to be made into a live action movie? And time and time again, I think back to Atlantis. Atlantis was a very interesting animated movie for its time. It was about explorers traveling into like an unknown land with crazy monsters and magically powered technology, and it had a large human cast um, made up of action adventurers doing just cool things that you would like to see in live action actually shown with modern day special effects. I feel like it had just enough combination of real people, but also like crazy effect work to where it would just work as a live action medium, especially with Disney's continual push to adapt these animated films into live action movies. So I've been very curious to why they haven't done that. So I attended DragonCon 2018. I'm still actually there. This is like my hotel room. And I got to talk with Henry Gilroy and Tad Stones, who were two of the people who worked on the Atlantis Animated Series that never ended up coming into light. And I asked them specifically about whether or not Atlantis would make a good live action film, considering the fact that Disney is continually pushing to make their animated movies into live action films. They said that while that would be a splendid idea, and that Atlantis does fit really well into the live action film spectrum, based off of the things that I mentioned earlier about like its main majorly human cast, but crazy effects that we could do with modern CGI. But the reason why we wouldn't see it being a live action film is mainly because when the Atlantis animated movie came out, it didn't have a very solid opening weekend. And Disney at the time was used to all their animated movies just killing it in theaters. Like when it comes out, boom, we're just making money, just printing money, it's great. So when Atlantis didn't do so hot, Disney wrote it off as a loss. They spent a lot of money to make that animated film, but when that opening weekend didn't do as well as they thought, they essentially were like, oh, Atlantis is trash. They just were like, oh, well, I guess we're just going to lose money on that one, and they lost faith in the franchise. This, along with many other factors, is what led to the Atlantis Animated Series not taking off the ground, and instead we got the direct-to-video Milo's Return. But Atlantis now puts a bad taste in Disney's mouth. Not that Atlantis was a bad movie. I really enjoyed Atlantis, and I even own Milo's Return on VHS. But it's just that because Disney had that bad experience with Atlantis. By the way, Milo's Return, that direct to video thing they did that had like 3 of the episodes from the animated series that never took off, that apparently did really well. But that still isn't enough for Disney to be like, ooh, Atlantis, we want to do Atlantis stuff. And essentially, what Henry Gilroy and Tad Stone said to me was that if you were to pitch an Atlantis live action film to Disney, what Disney would probably do is say, What if instead of Atlantis, we did like 2,000 Leagues Under the Sea or 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea? I always forget what the number is for that like particular property. But what if we just made it something else? They would say, let's steal a few ideas that the Atlantis movie had and make a live action film, but we're not going to make an Atlantis live action film. And I think they have a point. They're like, Disney would either want to use a property that they had more faith in and just steal elements from Atlantis, or they would do like an Atlantis live action film, but they wouldn't call it Atlantis and they would change a lot about it. They would want to put it in like a new packaging, play with the interesting ideas that Atlantis had, but put it in a new form. And that's the reason why it's very unlikely for us to see an Atlantis live action movie. What are your thoughts? Do you think they're right? Do you think it's more likely that we'll get something similar but not quite what we're looking for? Or do you think we will eventually get an Atlantis live action movie? Do you think an Atlantis live action movie would even be a good idea? Tell me why or why not in the comment section below. I'd love to hear from you. But thank you all once again for watching. If you like this video, make sure to smash that like button, favorite, comment, subscribe, and ding ding ding, ring that notification bell so you're notified whenever we do these videos. This is your host, your friend, your boy, Jet Black, the one and only, logging out. Peace.